calls meeting to order. County Commission at July 12th. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Public comment, doesn't look like we have any public comment. Minutes, July 5th, 2017.
Move to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
Move to second, accept the minutes for July 5th, 2017. All in favor?
Aye.
Don't have any COSs either. Right now, we'll have a little later, I guess.
Before moving on to lower or later agenda items, I would like to request that we finish the first item on the agenda, which would include the Commissioner's Community Update. Mr. Chairman.
Well, is there any update?
Yeah, I think it's pretty significant that we attended the land use law workshop or a meeting on Monday afternoon. That our county community development coordinator was there, and also that we attended the budget training on Tuesday with our accounting staff and finance officer.
I attended those same two meetings, and for me, there's a lot of good information on, especially on the budget deal and some of those land use issues. I think we're gonna end up paying more attention to that stuff than we thought we were going to, especially with some of that land use stuff. Also, attended the Raidersburg Historical Preservation Outfits meeting on Saturday night. They had a bunch of concerns about some stuff, mostly about the tractor, semi-trailers that are parked on Main Street. So I don't know what we're gonna have to do with that. And they also wanted Dana to grade the road before their celebration, which is their 150th on the 29th and 30th of July. He's gonna try to grade that, maybe put some kind of a dust abatement down for them. And I'm still trying to get a hold of the highway guys to see if there's anything to do with the vehicles, and I wanna talk to Julie and see if we can do something through the sanitarian on those. Try to get them moved out of there before that celebration. They said they've been in there for like 30 years. And that's about it.
Yeah, mine is all same as, pretty much all the same business as usual. On that trucks there, oh God, this has been 3 or 4 months ago. And I went to talk with Jeff, the mayor, you know. He said, well, he says, they don't have anything to do with it. So he's at the sheriff, so I got a hold of Wynn. And, well, he didn't know this and that, and never did ever get back to me. And so I think maybe we put pressure to him. I think he'd be the one that is.
Do we have a junk vehicle ordinance for that?
Counties, as far as I know, and we should double check this, maybe with Corey, but I don't believe there's any law that allows us to have a county ordinance. Cities can, but counties can't. We've tried that before with several different complaints we got from citizens about their neighbors having junk trailers that were home to vermin, being a safety issue, and there was nothing we could do about it. If Corey would be willing to say, you know what, I'll go ahead and stand behind you guys and we can go ahead and do an ordinance for this, then it's something we can do, but I can't find anything or anyone at Mako that says, yeah, we'll go ahead and back you on that.
What about,
So
can we address them as abandoned vehicles?
I think that's where our answer is. Brian Hone with Solid Waste is our junk vehicle administrator. And he is working with DEQ to find out, are those licensed? How long have they not been licensed potentially? And if so, if they're not licensed, they could potentially be moved. Also, the question of, are they on the right of way? If they are, and they're not licensed, then they should also be able to be moved. DEQ is gonna be at our meeting on Monday, but I think these are some answers that we need from Brian. I asked him to
Okay.
kind of look into it. He keeps saying that there's a salvage business that is the junk vehicle business. The problem is the county is tasked with the junk vehicle program. We cannot give that to a business unless the business answers an RFP or sends a letter of interest. We sent out an RFP late last year, maybe November, December, and we got no responses. If this particular business is interested, then all they need to do is give us a letter that says we are interested and we can go ahead and task them with it. Until that happens, it's Brian's as the solid waste manager. So that's kind of the backstory of where we're at now.
Guys, I'm sure they're on the highway easement.
You need to be able to show that, Franklin, and you need to be able to show their licensure. And that's the homework that Brian and DEQ are currently doing. You can't, as a government, come in and just start moving people's property.
No, but I think that's one thing it is, that they are on the,
They're
so I would
on
think the
the
highway
right away. I don't see how they could not be.
Mhm.
So, what I would suggest maybe for Monday is go out there and get those facts, Franklin, because we can't act on an I think. We have to act on solids, on evidence, on data. So if you could get those, then it gives us something we can go ahead and do. And Brian is working on the licensure issue. So hopefully we'll have some answers by Monday. And if you bring those solids about the highway, it gives us more teeth, Franklin.
Maybe we can move on to the,
One more thing on the land use training. We have 3 subdivisions coming up today. One of the things, Mike, that you stated is, I think, right on, and that is we're gonna be spending a lot more time. One of the things that has happened in the past years is when a subdivision is presented, all 3 commissioners should be asking the mitigation questions, and that's actually described in law, and you heard some of that in the training. What we have seen is putting it all on Nicole. Well, since you brought it, it must be fine, so I'll go ahead and support it. All 3 commissioners need to be actually looking and asking the questions. We may still find ourselves in court, just like that Ravalli case, but and it didn't help them, but what was used to defend Ravalli County was the fact that in their meetings, the commissioners deliberated about the issues. They didn't just say, oh, planner, you brought it to us, so it's fine. So, I hope that training, and I'm glad you attended, Franklin, will move, this full commission into more serious deliberation on every single subdivision. And the key with that is, if we treat each one the same, then nobody can come back and say, you only deliberated on mine, you haven't deliberated on the past 7. So that's something we need to actually get more comfortable with as individuals on this board, of asking those questions, double checking some of those mitigation factors.
get back to this TV district on these channels. Does anybody else got any feedback? I got just a little bit.
And then on that first agenda item, I'll just bring it up, the budget discussion at the end of this morning, if that's okay with you guys. So, yeah, I did get some feedback also, Franklin.
I got one from Harold Gibbs, and he was, Reverend, is that all one channel? Action channel or family channel? I guess that's the 4. Recto,
Yeah, Retro is one, Revan is the other one, the outdoor channel. Heartland, the action channel, the family channel. That's,
And then, I got some messages, one wanted, the Beverly Hillbillies, and I don't know which one those are on.
that's on Retro.
Recto, okay. And then, I had another one here with, wanted Recto, Best in Classic, is that I don't know if she come up with that, she said,
Retro is the best of classics.
oh, it is, that's
the
part of
same
it
one,
then.
yeah.
And then, the family. And the action channel, or maybe the family and action are together,
No, action's a separate one,
is it okay, action and then
family
family?
is a separate one.
That's all I have.
So I've got the one from Ely is Retro, Heartland, the action channel, and the family channel.
And subtracting both Harold Gibbs and Eliel's, I have 7 people who wanted retro, 3 that wanted rev, 5 that wanted action, 6 for family, 7 for Heartland, and 4 for outdoor.
So what does that, at 7 for, and that included the ones that me and Mike read off?
And like I said, I excluded those because you already had read those off. So what you'd want to do is add the numbers that I just gave you to Harold's and the other Eliel's.
You said the Hillbillies is on the action,
No, Hillbillies is on Retro.
or that's on retro too, okay.
So I think the top 4 are retro, action, family, and Heartland.
Yeah,
Mhm. That sounds like it.
yeah.
Right, so I move we follow the request of the public and ask Mr. Gibbs to go ahead and get retro, action, family, and Heartland.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and second for the named channels. Any more discussion? No discussion, we're gonna vote all in favor.
Aye.
Motion passed. These were in the mailbox and asked Mike, and he'd already checked with, oh, okay. Have you got a COS, or you just,
I do and I don't.
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
do, but I basically just wanted to check in with you on the Centerville Cemetery, if you all had had a chance to look at one I left in the office. With the numbering, how I did it, and also because it's with the county, do I send it through the county review process?
I would say yes, but if you could hold off just a little bit, if we still have some time.
Oh, yeah, you have. all
On the
time in
agenda
world.
for next Monday, we're going to be talking about policies and prices for those, so that we are doing what everybody else is doing in the county.
Mhm.
And then, so we should put that all together, I think. I could be wrong.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't actually bringing it formally
Okay,
for review. I wanted a guidance whether the numbering, because I said I had started at 300 in case we come up with any other graves under the sawdust on the other side in the future. And that there wouldn't be a discrepancy of an old and a new with the same numbers.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes good sense.
And if you want me to, though, I can proceed with sending it to the examining land surveyor so that when you guys are ready, it's all ready. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
Thank you.
right, then I will proceed with that. And it's that close.
Yay. Thank
Do
you.
you have any idea, Michelle didn't know where it come from, did you knew anything about that, or who put it in the?
Did you see that this morning?
I did, I put it in the mailbox. That's for our next agenda item from Jane
Oh,
Kazare.
Okay, okay.
Oh, that.
There's, if you're on that agenda item, Franklin, there's an email from MDT, and what it says is, we, MDT, are doing a highway project on Montana Highway 287. As part of the project, we are moving the public approach to, 437, approximately 1,500 feet north. The abandoned point or portion of 437 crosses RJC Farming Partnership property. The property owners are Robert and Jane Kazare, and they requested we discharge that portion of the public easement that will no longer be used as a public roadway back to them. We researched and found the state has no interest in this easement. It appears the easement interest would be held by the county. I attached a copy of the right-of-way plans, 2 pages, which you have in front of you. The area shaded yellow shows the portion of 437 requested to be abandoned. So Nicole said she would be here to discuss this right before the subdivisions. She said she had no problem with it. I also sent it to Dana and asked him if he had an issue. So
So they're going 1,500 feet to the north then, huh?
So they're gonna move it back towards Toston,
Yeah,
so that they come,
by the-
instead of, they come into the square into it, instead of
Yeah,
coming
they'll
into
become
that
by
corner.
the, pretty close to the grain bins, or maybe over a little bit. They're probably 700-800 feet from the end, I imagine. You know, there's those 3 grain bins right there.
Oh, they ended up coming off the Dairy Road, right? That's 437, right?
Right, right. Instead of, you know how it comes out there now at that angle,
Yeah,
then we squared it up. And see, of course, before, that was the logical way to come in on, because, but now that highway's gonna be all,
so that thing actually sits like this. This is your highway here,
oh, yeah, okay.
going towards Three Forks, right?
Mm-hmm. And so this is what they want to abandon.
Where's the new one? They're not
I
showing
don't
the
think they
new
should.
ones coming off, huh?
I think all, according to that, what she read off the email, they're just coming 1,500 feet to the north.
Hmm.
So it'd come, yeah, they'd probably make a gradual curve up there where they got that little fire station and swing down. Because those grain bins will probably be moved out of there anyway, I imagine, with the new project.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
before a decision, I would like to just hear
See
from
what-
Nicole
what
publicly.
others say. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see any issues with it either. It seems pretty self-explanatory and very usual.
Got a, for the TV district, power bill, $72. Have Nicole make a claim on that.
Why would Nicole? She won't do that. That's not
All
her
right,
job.
not Nicole. Never mind. We were just talking about Nicole, I guess that's why. Letter from the state on the DUI task force.
It should be, for the record, for those people watching on camera, you should let them know the gist of the letter, Franklin. For the record.
That's just a thank you from the state on the task force, DUI task force.
It's actually a notice of approval of their plan. It's actually a really big deal, because without it, they don't get any funding.
So this says that receive an installment of accumulated unspent funds authorized, is that unspent funds for counties that don't have DUI or that aren't using, okay.
Mm-hmm,
So they'll get more funding then, right?
yep.
Here's some accounting, fuel charges, show the commissioners there and highlighted. Also from accounting, this is on the postage meter charges. Accounting is on phone for senior center. Accounting, telephone charges, commissioners. Oh, but I mean, commissioners will tie out.
That one never stuck to the back of that.
No. That's just from, I think that everybody got that letter, I think, from the Chamber of Commerce. There's another one from accounting. Monthly phone, this is on, well, we just had a phone one. This is connect, telephone monthly, or monthly maintenance. I'm sure the commissioners on that one highlighted. This is on airport and stuff, everything that I signed last week. And I just put it in Corey's box, but he left a note on it that he's the last one to sign on it, so we'll just take it over to the city and leave it off there and let Mike get it signed.
Are you going to hand deliver that, Franklin?
Yeah,
Okay.
the city office. Checks it in the holes.
You had some mail that you didn't present to the public or the commission, for that matter?
No, there's this DIS that comes from me.
Chamber of Commerce,
The
you just
Chamber of Commerce
mentioned
said
it.
everybody apparently got one of those there in the mail.
Did you, no? Did you read it?
Yeah, I read mine.
It's not yours, it's for the commission, asking us if we would be a member of the Chamber of Commerce. We have done that in the past. We are an integral part of the economy of this area, and to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce gives us at least a vote when it comes to the economy of our community. I would move that we re-up our membership with the Townsend Area Chamber of Commerce.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to renew the membership of the Chamber of Commerce. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
So I would say, friend of the chamber, individual non-business entity to help promote area businesses, because we're not a business. Is that good with you guys?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead and get that filled out to Michelle.
That's all the mail. I'm gonna go see if Nicole was free, she can come a few minutes early.
So, you're discussing the easement, the MDT easement? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Right.
I spoke with a gentleman at MDT and he, Joe, and I'm sorry, I cannot recall his last name. He indicated that this is being initiated by MDT. I don't see any reason why the county can't give this back. This doesn't affect any easements that the county has or any moving of roadways. You know, him and I had a lengthy conversation about this, so I don't see any issues for the county on you relinquishing this back to the Kazares.
I don't either. Thank you
Yes,
for
you're
that.
welcome.
It's nice to have the expert. I will move that we go ahead and grant this
I'm gonna grab
request.
my- I will go to the next one.
I'll second.
Moved and second to grant this amendment of part of 437 for the, pertaining to the new highway project coming in. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't find my special pen. The special pen's kicking my butt every time. This is, ooh, a little blurry. Let's put paper on top. I am here today requesting final plat approval of the Silos Estates at Canyon Ferry. It's a subsequent minor subdivision. Can I borrow this just to
Yes,
click on here? Sorry.
absolutely.
I'm gonna sit over here close to you if that's okay, so I can pass around materials.
Everything been met on that? There was a public hearing at one time?
There was a public hearing, yes indeed. And I will pass around all of the conditions that I believe they have met, but you get the final say. So number one is the DEQ approval and the stormwater drainage plan. Pass that around, sorry.
No problem. Thank you.
So you have the DEQ approval, and with the DEQ approval comes the stormwater drainage plan, which is also approved. Number three, states prior to any development, a driveway application approach permit shall be requested from the county road department. All requirements of an approved permit shall be met. So that approval is for this location here, they do not have any roads in this subdivision. They have this shared driveway, this is Han Road here. And so this is a shared driveway to be used only by lots 2D and 2C, and it states that on the plat. The driveway can only be used by no more than 2 homes. So that's why it states it explicitly on the plat. So there is no construction of a road necessary. We also don't have any guidelines for constructing a driveway. So simply the approach, and so that's the signed and approved approach permit for that location.
So the other 2 lots access off of Han Road?
They will, and at the time of construction, they will apply for that approach permit because, you know, the developer's choice, if you will, for a driveway may be different than the future lot owners. So at that time, when they come in and request an address, I will also give them the driveway approach permit that they'll need to complete. So that will be for lots 2A, 2B, and never mind, that's not part of it. So lot 2B and 2A will come in and request their own approach permit. So that permit is only for that shared driveway.
And is amended lot 1 already occupied?
You know, I'm not sure. It's not part of this subdivision, so I don't know if there's a residence on it already or not. This subdivision is only these ones here.
And you're kind of at a disadvantage, Mike. Franklin and I both reviewed this in December.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so you have, this is your first time really seeing it.
And there is a construction, a house was constructed on that.
On that one? Okay. Number 4, the shared driveway for lots 2C and 2D must be constructed prior to final plat. And so what this is the grant of easement for that driveway. Again, since we don't have any standards for constructing a driveway, they don't have to do a whole lot. But it's a nice looking driveway. But I can't say that there was any standard or anyone signed off on it, and I'm certainly not the authority, but it is constructed, and that's the easement showing.
Did the fire department? They don't even get to look at this.
They get to look at the application and the subdivision, but they don't get to look at the driveway. The fire department does not have any standards or any ability to weigh in on the construction of a driveway. We simply require that each driveway is constructed to, or I'm sorry, if they're going to put a cul-de-sac in, that it's not longer than 1,500 feet.
So this is technically not a cul-de-sac.
Not really. You know, it's shaped like a cul-de-sac, but it's not really a cul-de-sac road. Number 5, I don't have anything to pass around for you, so I'll just go ahead and read it. It states the applicant will be required to submit the preliminary plat and final plat drawings in electronic format to Broadwater County in ArcGIS, AutoCAD, or MicroStation format. Additional materials may be requested by the county in electronic format to facilitate review of application material. I have those already on my computer. Number 6, plans for the location and installation of individual mailboxes shall be reviewed and approved by the U.S. Postal Service prior to installation. The approved letter from USPS. I'm going to start on 7 because I want you to take some time to look at that one. This is the fire. The applicant and fire protection authority having jurisdiction shall use their best efforts to draft a fire protection plan specifically for this subdivision in accordance with Broadwater County subdivision regulations. The plan should be equally acceptable to the FPHJ, the applicant, and the county governing authority. The plan shall adequately address the fire risk analysis, all findings of fact, and appropriate mitigation measures. In the event the parties are unable to come to agreement by the final plat submittal, the applicant shall become eligible to provide the per lot cash in lieu fee for water supply as may be defined in the Broadwater County subdivision regulations in effect at the time of submittal. So what you have coming around is a signed and approved fire plan in which at the time of sale, the future lot owners will pay $1,000 to the fire department. And that has been signed and approved by Fire Chief Ed Schindel. There are copies of the lien that would be placed on each of these properties so to ensure that will be paid, and then also a copy of the lien release just for ease of the clerk and recorder's office. And I do want you to recognize that this is not the first time this has been done, and it seems to be working. I haven't noticed any hiccups in this process? And has it been cumbersome for the clerk and recorder's office at all? Okay. They're still getting their money, it just, at time of lot sale, which actually makes sense. You know, there really are no, I shouldn't say no impacts, because there could be a grass fire out there, but rarely would there be impacts to the fire department without a home being constructed on the property and without human use, so.
It's not a bad plan.
Yeah, you know, and
I like
it seems to work, the fire department agrees to it, it's easier on the developer, if it works for the clerk and recorder's office, it works for me, it really, it requires very little involvement, so.
Yeah. If somebody doesn't pay, it is a lien, so it's taken out of their taxes, right?
Yep, absolutely, yep, and, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's impossible to file a deed with that lien being on there, is that true?
Can probably file the deed, but they're not gonna get any loan on,
Okay,
with that lane being out there, that's,
Wouldn't have clear title, you
wouldn't
the
have
title
clear,
company.
right. They can record the deed, but it's not gonna be clear title until the
Okay.
lane's taken care of, so, yeah.
yeah, so there's a possibility, I suppose, that it
Yeah.
would not happen, but so far it's worked for everyone. And, you know, at the time when you're purchasing a lot, what's another $1,000? When you're buying the land and building a house potentially, so. All right, this is the signed and approved weed management plan. I'm sorry, that's condition number 8. And while you're looking over that, I'm just gonna start on 9, it's the covenants, and so I'll just start reading on that one. Number 9, the book and page reference to the restrictive covenant filed with the county clerk and recorder shall be indicated on the face of the final plat. In addition, restrictive covenants, revocable or alterable only with the consent of the Board of County Commissioners, shall be placed upon the property and shall provide for the following. A, notification of the potential health risk from radon concentrations, and that such risk can be evaluated through soil tests and mitigated through radon abatement techniques incorporated into structures. B, a notification that each driveway access for individual lots will require an approved driveway application and approach permit prior to installation of a private driveway onto the county road, Hahn Road. C, a notification that all dwelling units within the subdivision should be constructed to specifications which meet or exceed equivalent provisions in the applicable state building code for this seismic zone, which is Zone 3. D, notification of the potential degradation of existing emergency services due to the potential for growth in a rural area. E, any additional replacement or relocated utility lines shall be installed underground in accordance with county subdivision regulations unless otherwise determined by the utility provided. F, any exterior lighting shall be directed downward to minimize visibility beyond the property lines. G, the International Dark Sky Program, Firewise Design Standards, and Water Conservation Landscaping Design shall be included in the restrictive covenants. H, notification of the presence of ag operations in the vicinity. I, a waiver of the right to protest to join a special district for the purpose of providing community water and/or wastewater treatment system improvements and/or maintenance. J, a restrictive covenant binding the landowner, any heirs, successors, and assigns, and all future owners of property within the subdivision, agreeing therein to hold Broadwater County harmless and indemnify Broadwater County from all claims, demands, obligations, suits, causes of action, damages, and liability, including the county's costs and attorney's fees, arising in any manner whatsoever out of or relating to the existence, use, operation, repair, and/or maintenance of the following. Subitem 1, earthquake fault zone and any seismic activity. And subitem 2, water availability. K, each lot shall be maintained in a clean, attractive, and weed-free manner. Noxious weeds must be pulled, sprayed, or cut prior to seed maturity. L, prohibition of the storage of foods, garbage, or continuous feeding of domestic pets outdoors or other activities that creates an attractive nuisance for wildlife species. Hay or alfalfa storage and feeding are not prohibited where livestock are permitted. M, lot shall only allow for livestock if a small acreage livestock management plan is reviewed and approved by the county extension agent and submitted to the county. Each lot owner shall be required to create and adhere to their own livestock management plan. N, all cats and dogs must be restrained, penned, or otherwise under the control of their owner at all times. O, address numbers shall be clearly marked at the driveway entrance to each lot and be easily identified from the road. And number 10, prior to filing the final plat, the following improvements shall be installed or otherwise guaranteed. Any necessary improvements required by the stormwater drainage plan, weed management plan, fire protection plan, or approach permits. And there were no additional requirements on that. But 10B states utilities abutting and available to each lot. So what you have coming around is a bill from Northwestern Energy, the receipt from Northwestern Energy that has been paid, and showing that the utilities are there. 11A, prior to filing the final plat, the applicant shall provide proof that all taxes and special assessments assessed and levied on the property are paid for the current tax year, including any past delinquencies. Which is their paid tax bill. And
Why they had to bring the power in, 21,000.
I wondered that same thing, didn't that, whew,
I know, but I got that.
What's that?
the cost to bring that power in.
It is 21,000. So, but on the road, there was.
But I,
power
they had
in.
to pull it from here to here at least, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's not,
Mhm.
whatever, I guess.
Yeah, it's paid, it's done, they,
So that'd only be, again, the size of the lot.
yep. And the final item here, 11B, provide documentation, an abstract of title or a platting certificate showing that the applicant is the lawful owner of the property with the apparent authority to subdivide the same, showing the names of lien holders or claimants of record and the written consent to the subdivision by the owners of the land, if other than the applicant, and any lien holders or claimants of record against the land. So that just shows that they do own this property.
So if and when these lots are built and these people request addresses, do they name this driveway?
Nope. We do, it would be a one-off on Han Road. So because it would be on the right-hand side of Han Road, it would be an even number. And I don't know what that'd be, but I'm just gonna throw out a number here, so like 24 and 26. And we do that frequently with shared driveways, you know, they're just, I guess it's two off, because if it's odd or even, it's on the left or the right-hand side of the road.
I just wonder how that affects the fire department. They go to such and such a number of Han Road because this isn't on Han Road. So do they have to put an address placard out here?
Yep,
with
they
their-
put it
with
at their driveway entrance, where their driveway enters onto the county road. And so in this instance, I would suggest, and again, we don't have regulation for this, so I don't go out and inspect and I can't tell them that they have to put these numbers up. I can't make sure that they're in the right location. But what I would suggest, so say if this was 24 and this is 26, I would suggest that they put 24 on the right-hand side going into the driveway and 26 on the left-hand side going into the driveway. And certainly not on these people's property, but here and here,
Okay.
just to give them an indicator. And I also suggest that people put their numbers on their house too, even though we don't provide those, and again, we don't regulate those, we don't inspect those. It's really just for public health and safety.
And we do have other places where there is a lengthy driveway off of a county road or even a state highway. This is, it looks different because it's a subdivision, but it really is the same
Yeah.
ideas we have.
I think a good example would be where Ernie Nunn and Hatfields and now the Wolfgrams, they live out there. They have a very long driveway, which is now named because of a subdivision, but they put their address markers right there on Highway 287.
Okay.
And then, you know, also I just suggest that they put their number in their house, but
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've answered all the conditions we imposed with the preliminary plat, so I have no issues or questions at this point. And I'll make a motion if you guys don't have any issues.
I don't have any issue.
I will move that we grant final plat approval to the Silos Estates at Canyon Ferry based on the fact that they have met all the preliminary plat requirements imposed.
We have a second to finalize the Silos Estate subdivision. Any more discussion? No discussion, go to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
perfect. Here's the special pen, if you would sign in the appropriate location. Down here, there's 4 copies here. And also, DT Browser is canceled for this morning. They were not prepared to come here, so I
Oh,
have another one, I think I'm back on at 11. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I
Maybe
wrote
we
down
could-
anyway.
everybody's here.
Well, I'm not prepared for the 11 o'clock, so I'm going to leave this here and I'm gonna run grab my stuff for the 11 o'clock, is that okay?
And but you wanna wait till 11, or you?
Yes, is that okay? I'm sorry to give you
Yeah.
that gap time, but
Yeah, well,
the
that's okay.
10:45 DT browser just
We
wasn't
might,
ready.
want something else around, we might just
Perfect.
recess for,
I'll come back and pick this up.
for 10
Okay,
minutes.
when I show back up.
All right. Subdivisions is probably not one of those things that we should be, less than diligent on the time with. 'Cause it's often something that somebody is interested in. So if we scooted it in early without letting somebody know, we could be challenged.
I think we'll recess for,
Actually, we have business to take care of. That pen should probably stay with that since
Yeah.
it's, and if you would
Please
put the,
close it up, Franklin, those dry out really fast. Thank you.
Mike Conkey was just outside, so I'll wait on that for him. We have a lot to take care of, so recessing is probably not real responsible on our part. Um, One of the first things is, we'll be getting into this a little bit more this afternoon, but we have a commission account that is overdrawn right now. So we're gonna have to do an amendment to put more money in that fund. I think it's the only one, at this point in the budget. But what we have are two claims here, one for almost $1,000, $983.97. For you, Franklin, for mileage, and then,
lodging
Just-
and registration and all
just a
that.
very small one, for Mike, of $74.90. We can't pay either of these until we have money in the account. But one of the things that we did is we only put $1,500 in when we built the budget a year ago.
I said at that
tra-
time there should be more in there.
If you had engaged with us in the budget process, then, much differently than the fact that you haven't this year, there might have been something more in there, but you didn't.
I did
Actually-
engage, I was the one that said there should be more in there.
No, and
Well,
it
so-
wasn't,
I don't care what you say, you can say whatever you want.
and there isn't enough to cover. We have $1,500 in that particular object code, and for one claim to be for almost $1,000 is way exceeding the ability to keep up with that. So, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. We'll have to see how much we have to do an amendment for, so that we can get these covered.
Did we budget 1,500 or 15,000?
1,500.
Every
Yeah.
year we've had to make a budget amendment.
And it has been to cover
Usually there's
specific,
been about 4 or 5, because when I talked to Debbie, she said there'd be a budget, and then you just do one budget amendment for them all, is what they've done before.
and Franklin is correct, it's every year been for his mileage, to put more money in for that.
And everything's listed there. And there's registration fees I pay for my room, when I go to these conferences and everything on my credit card.
The other thing that we need to bring up is an email that Mike Conkey sent us from DES. Commissioners, this is a request for authority to spend CIP interactive communication funds in the amount of approximately $820 to have Capital Communications install a cell phone booster in the courthouse basement area near the DES and Commissioner offices. The purpose is to facilitate and enhance cell reception for both DES and the Commissioners, and FAIR actually, for the conduct of day-to-day business activities and emergency and disaster preparedness. Currently, the CIP fund has a balance of $6,729.30. So this was sent to all three of us. It should have been probably put in the commission mail. I don't have a problem bringing it forward because I think it's important business we need to take care of. You guys have any questions? I will move that we grant the request of DES for the money needed to have a cell phone booster installed for our collective offices.
I'll second.
Move and second to put a cell phone booster in, requested by Mike Conkey. And I'm assuming that's why he was gonna be here, or was here.
I'd like to request that we vote on that.
Move and second. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the rest of what I have can probably wait till this afternoon. Take care of it all at once with the budget. The BOR land transfer is actually making its way right now through the National Park Service, and we are expecting deeds any day now. We should follow up with Nicole when we're done with the subdivisions, if she has heard from anybody who wants to serve on that board for that property. We do have one gentleman from the city who's interested for sure.
Did she put an ad in the paper?
Mhm. On the website. Might have gotten caught up in vacations and such, so we can double check that.
Okay.
But we'll have to get that started very quickly. Mia doesn't want to get her work done yet, as far as putting together the contracts, until she has people together at the table
Okay.
and can actually hear what it is that they're looking for. And then she wants to do just one draft, instead of doing one and then redoing it.
Yeah.
time yet, but I'm gonna pass that material.
Okay.
That's okay.